Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the July 2nd, 2023 CALPADS Q&A. My name is Paul Higgins. I am a data analyst thesis supporting CALPADS. As for announcements, today we are in the end of year deadline amendment window. We did arrive in a very high number for the certification on Friday. I do not have that number or that percentage yet, but we did very well. Most LEAs did arrive at CELPA approved 528. So that was a very welcome sign that things were going better than we had hoped. So well done. I appreciate that. And we now have until August 25th to review the reports, submit any changes, review those changes in the revised uncertified, and then update any certifications that exist that need to be. You know that we did have a build go in yesterday. So on the known issues list, Kyron, have you and Angela updated? Do you remember? Or do you know?
I'm still waiting for her approval. Once she approves it, it should be.
Okay, understood. So the current known issues list has not been updated to reflect the information from the build yet. We're just still verifying that. Hopefully in the next, probably by tomorrow. So hopefully with that, we'll just get on to the chat box. So let's start here. Unless anybody else has anything. Alice, Marianne, anybody have anything for the group before we get started? I love it. Okay, Q1 from Laura. We have a student who was reported as a completer non-grad at the end of the 22-23 school year. SPED department is asking us to drop the student as of 6/10 after the last day of school due to a child find letter being sent out. Would I enroll for 1 day? This doesn't make sense to me because I have already dropped the student. Child find letter. No, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I guess I would need to understand what the SPED department's motivation is here for, behind that letter and asking it to be dropped, on the 10th instead of the. Anyway. So there's a lot of stuff missing from that I couldn't really make a definitive answer for you. But if you would open a service desk ticket, I will be happy to look into that and get back. All right, moving on. Catherine, 302 Q1. I have a student that had their inter-district contact revoked at the end of the last school year. I am able to exit the student on the last day of school, or will I have to no-show the student? Admin would like me to exit the student on the last day of school, although enrollment is unknown at this time. So on this, it just sounds, you're not, if you have pre-enrolled a student for the 23-24 academic year, you can no-show that enrollment. But the 22-23, that exit category should reflect a T160, not an E155 or E156, depending on the grade level, showing that they're not going to be returning. The E155 would indicate that you expect them to return. It states that they are leaving. So that would be the difference. And if you change that to a T160, then that pre-enrollment can be no-showed or actually deleted out of the system, or either way. Terry, 302 Q1. Did NSLP revert back to the 10/31 date? Anybody have any input or insight on that one?
Last academic in fall 1, I think that was the last time. I mean, that's the first time we went back to 10/31 in the 22-23 year for the NSLP, because in the prior years we used December 31st because of the pandemic. But I believe last year we started reverting back to 1031.
.302, Eugenie, Kelly, Marcy, Alex, Rebecca. Yeah, all of you say that I sound pretty far away. Anybody better? I don't obviously can't hear myself, so if I'm still far away, somebody yell at me. All right. Ooh, Vanessa, and I'll also try and speak up. 303 Q1. Hello, I sent up an SCNR file for summer initial LPAC testing on 6/6/2023 with the start date for the students to reflect 7/1/20. My question is, do I need to exit these students? If so, what date should I use? Or should I just update the enrollment date to reflect the upcoming start date of the new school year? Yes, that is actually you can't update the enrollment start date. You have to remove them and update them because the enrollment start date as well as the school of attendance are now part of the operational key and cannot be changed. So you do need to remove them and then re-upload them. And if it's their first enrollment, you're not going to be able to delete it, no-show it, be in 470, and then create the later enrollment using the later date after 7/1, and then come back and delete that one. Ethan, yes, I am actually inside my shower stall right now. Pulled the curtains to hide from the world. So
I'll check your mic placement, make sure it's not too high or something like that.
it's right in front of my face. Hold on, I'm gonna try something inherently stupid and dangerous. Hold on. Can everybody hear me? Because I just went to my computer mic, which means you're all gonna hear my son's dog barking at me from time to time, and I didn't want that. So I apologize. Marshall, is that better?
It's good.
Okay, because now you all sound terrible to me. All right. Naomi, Q1 at 304. Are there any current issues with the CALPADS and Tom Sync? We've had many students enrolled in CALPADS last week who are still not showing up in Tom. I have not seen any tickets come through that I've handled. CDE, do you know of any issues between the CALPADS and Tom Sync?
No, it should be okay.
All right.
Send something up if they need to specifically.
Yeah, so I was going to say, Naomi, go ahead and open a service desk ticket if you are experiencing issues and provide the details so we can look into it a little further. And also, Kyron is asking you a question right now. So if you want to work with him on that, that'd be great too. All right. Robin, Q1, my school sites are asking for preliminary graduation dropout rate numbers. I'm looking at the ACGR 15.1 report. Do we only look at the regular high school diploma graduates and dropouts column, or do the other ones count? Is it possible? If possible, I would like to do the same thing as whatever dashboard and data quest do. Okay, cohort data. When it's reported to the feds, it's binary. Are they a graduate or not? Those are the two categories. In California, CDE decided that two options isn't good because it leaves you not knowing anything else about those students who are not graduate completers. So what they did was they created all these other buckets. So you can see the certificates of completion for the SPED students. You can see the other transfers for the kids who went to adult ed. You can see the kids wherever they went, so whatever their circumstances, the still enrolled, the dropout, you see what they are in all these little buckets. So what's reported to the feds is only the 3,100 regular high school diploma graduates. That's your number. Nothing else. Everything else is going to be reported as not a high school diploma graduate or not a graduate completer. So that should get you to right where you need to be to know your rate. And Rebecca just gave you a slide for that, so that should get you there. Looking down a little farther, I have at 305 Oscar's Autopilot saying, "Hi, I'm an AI assistant helping Oscar Meza take notes for this meeting, following along with the transcript here. You'll also be able to see screenshots of key moments and highlights, comments, reactions." Wow, that's interesting. We actually have an AI recording us right now. All right, moving on. Marcy Totten, I'm still far away. I apologize. Not as close to my PC as I can get, or my laptop as I can get. Sabrina 309 Q1. I've already loaded DOY, SDEM, CRSC, and SCSC files. What is the best way to load college courses with dual credit if any are missing? EOY, thank you. I was college courses dual credit if any are missing. Is the SCSC online maintenance functionality back up 100%, or would we have to reload all SCSC and CRSC data to get those in there? Does anybody know?
I mean, if it's just the course attributes, CRSC.
I'm sorry, Aaron, say that again.
If they're just trying to update the course attribute for that dual credit college courses, then you just have to re-upload the CRSC.
Okay. And just take it for what it's worth. CRS and SCSC are still full replacement. So just pay attention to those operational keys. Clarissa 311 Q1, our court and community schools will be offering yoga class in 23-24. It's possible that some students have not completed their high school PE course. 1 and 2 yet. Can I still use this course code for yoga per the code set definition for 9316? Well, if they have not completed PE courses 1 and 2 yet, then no. It would have to be coded another way. And what that other way is, I'm not sure, but Gary is pulling up the CALPADS code sets right now to help us possibly find an alternative.
Sorry, I'm a little discombobulated because my computer locked up as soon as I shared my screen right when the meeting got started, and I had to actually reboot my computer. So sorry. I don't even have any of the questions, so I can't pre-look at what's coming up. At least not till 3:13. So we're looking for code of. We need the valid code combos.
So I think we could go with just right now and look for something for yoga or advanced in general, anything that doesn't have a prerequisite that PE 1 and 2 doesn't have.
Yeah, I filtered for course group state, Gary, and then I filtered just for physical and gives you all the kind of PE.
Thank you. And then we also want to get rid of everything except for what's valid now, selecting that.
All right, so right there, code set and filtering it down using the name, physical or physical education, and then going over to that end date and making sure that only active codes were included. Those are all of the phys ed codes, and you can I mean, it's not a huge list, but you could probably go through there and find one, and it would probably be, oh, I don't know.
Well, I see. Sorry, Paul. I see that 9313. If that was a code, didn't seem appropriate because in the definition, it clearly says IEP to qualify for the course.
Yeah, that's true. And then they're looking at the 9316, which has the qualifier for having completed 1 and 2. '16 seems a better option, doesn't it?
Additionally, I think once you select one of these PE codes, like art and foreign language, you have to populate a what is that secondary kind of descriptive code.
Yes, sorry.
Thank you, Kyron. I think it is subcategory code. So I think just looking at the course group state, then identifying a subcategory code might help with that. It might still be 9314 physical education 1, and then you select from the subcategories what is close to yoga if there is one. So I don't know. It would take a time. We might need a ticket, but it seems like we do have time.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Nick. Our autopilot is still recording us. Could you please tell me where I can find the definition for quote-unquote staff for pupil services call 11 on CalPADS report 4.1 staff count and FTE by job classification? Do we have that in the user manual?
It's there. If you scroll down, there could be some links to glossary at the bottom. No? Okay, so if you search the word keyword staff, it should bring it up in the glossary.
There you go, right on top. There it is. They just want the definition of staff. Staff/staff member. So a staff/staff member are employees, educational services that have a valid statewide educator identifier, the ID. So there you go. That's the definition. User manual. Looking up.
And then, Paul, if you could go back to the previous question about the yoga PE class, you could choose the code, the state course code for physical education 1 or 2 is fine. And then the course content subcategory code is phys-07, PHYS07. In the description, yoga is one of the several activities listed. So, you want to look that up. It's in the under course content area subcategory. Code is phys-07.
Interacting with some folks. All right, Mary Masters 322 Q1. Somewhere I saw a report that showed the count of independent study students. You know which report that was? I can't find it again, and I may have seen it in a prior year. Not one.
probably, and then filter for independent study. Maybe that might give them something. Maybe not here. I try to look for it, and then I'll put it on the chat box.
Okay, thank you, guys. Appreciate that. I'm sorry, I'm just playing with my chat box because it keeps bouncing on me as people interact, which is good. I appreciate you interacting. Angela, 324. Yeah, I'm trying, Angela. I'm right there on my computer. My headset's not working. Effectively talking into my laptop as I'm holding it here. We're still working there. Right, I think I just hit the bottom questions again. I'm gonna run back up top, make sure that I not missed anything.
Also, Paul, if anyone's having trouble hearing, you can bring up the transcript on the side, pin it to the side, and you'll be able to see everything that's been said during the meeting. Also,
Especially when Marshall yelled.
funny guy. You're a real funny guy. Thank you, Paul.
All right. Okay, I see Vanessa 324. How can I find out how many students are currently enrolled in our LEA school year 23-24? Well, if you run the ODS 1 and specify a date after your school start date, you should be able to get a count, right? Oh, cumulative enrollment count, but that's end of year.
Yeah.
All right, got it. 121 enrollment count. Run the ODS version and make sure you specify a date after your enrollment or your start date of the year.
I mean,
See, I was right. Yes, pull your 1.1, not the 1.21. So the 1.1 specifying a date after your published start date. And Dominic saying Marshall with the true pro tip. Looks like Nate has responded to Mary Masters' question with regard to counts of independent study students with report 3.10. That we again are at the bottom of the list. So if you have questions, please put them in there. Otherwise, you can be stuck and listen to me vamp for the next 5 to 10 minutes until somebody gets tired of it and shuts it down. Help us all. All right, so on the screen, Gary, is 3.10 report mapping guide up to show what we're talking about with regard to looking for the independent study counts.
yeah.
Under the instructional strategy code field 21 is where all of the independent study
23.
23? Oh, sorry. CRSC field dot 9.23 independent study indicator equals, yeah, there it is. Is there a filter for us to just look at independent study on that? Or would you have to export this?
Be a filter listed, but it would be in column right here. I'm sorry, it's so tiny.
You can click on it.
Oh, there we go.
So then this is the detail. I think 3.16 is what you're looking for. If it's just the count, you can X out of that.
Getting some clarification. She's looking for student count, not the course count. So any student reporting independent study,
Here's the student count.
the body's doing it, not necessarily the detail of the course. Okay, Chris, is the ODS short for odious?
In case anyone doesn't know, it's the online data store.
Yeah, but odious is actually fun.
Yeah. There you go.
Right. Not getting any new questions here. Does anybody have anything they want to talk to the group about? Anything that's been pressing on your mind about things you want to get out into the field? Anything to talk about? And Paul's bathtub microphone is Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh, I'll send you a new microphone, or get them to send you a new microphone or something like that. Yeah. It just sounds like your room is muted, so like it's absorbing the sound that you're saying instead of it all going into the microphone. So it's pretty cool.
Well, I apologize for my ominous quiet. .331. How did everyone do with end of year certification? This was one of the most brutal ones I can remember. The numbers were good. It's we were what, high 90s, I think.
Yeah.
Exactly. We were all doing all right. Rebecca at 311 Q1. Do we have a specific date for the language codes to be implemented in CalPAD? Didn't they go live last week and they're actually usable now? Did I see that somewhere?
For some reason, I have it in my head that it's not till September.
Okay.
That might be something else that's coming.
May have misspoken. I mean, there were a lot of things that were kind of contingent. And I thought this was one of them. All right. Final code set. Oh, yeah, there it is. Mid-September 2023 CalPADS rollover. So it's, even though they're in the system, they're not activated, and we don't want them used until after the final rollover, which will happen after the close of end of year. So that way we don't end up with lots of end of year errors on language codes that didn't exist or something. So we're just trying to minimize any issues at the end of year. That's why it's not available yet. Yolanda, 333 Q1. Is anyone having issues with reports from end of year and the reports timeout? I know we were having some performance issues last week. Not heard that they carried over into this week though.
If it's a detailed report, Yolanda, maybe another option would be the supporting extracts. There are some detailed reports that you could run an extract for.
Alrighty, thank you. I'll be available. Those do come in just a flat file, so then you have to import them into Excel. Feel a little better. Barry at 334, trying to remember, after we enroll new students to our district, students that have SSIDs from prior districts, what's the method to retrieve in bulk from the demo and SIMP data that I can import into my known data, such as home language, city, etc.? I believe that's the SSID extract? No, the after you enroll them, then you run the SSID extract, the enrollment extract, right? Or is it the extract right next to it?
Some of those essential she listed.
Okay, so when you pull down that SSID extract, it includes all the basic information to load into the SIN, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so Mary, the answer to your question is you pull the SSID extract, turn it around, and feed it back into your SIN. Stephanie, 334 Q1. I've been out for a bit, but can I get a reminder of how to upload TBD students early? So I'm interpreting your question as you want students who are going to be enrolled this academic year. Oh, wait a minute, right there. Gary's got it up on the screen. He beat me through the whole damn thing. Good. So he's on, what is it, CALPADS/258. And we are under the heading assessing students, assessing students for English language acquisition status during the summer, important reminders. So that's right there for you. Chantal at 336 Q1. When do we usually get the dates for next year's window? They're under calendar on our CalPAD page.
Hi,
In the bottom,
a little bit.
sorry?
Waiting a little bit. There's been some changes in legislation, so the data will have to be received earlier because of SB 114. So we're trying to figure out how we're going to be collecting the data because there's some conflicts with different collections. So we have to update those dates. The fall 1 and fall 2 are pretty much going to be similar, but end of year is going to be earlier.
Right. Looks like the CalPADS calendar's been truncated to include only the 22-23 end of year selection right now. So we shall wait with bated breath. Right. Lisa, 336. One on the 16.7 and 16.8 EP monitoring reports, our LEA has a number of students with late IEP meetings. However, these students moved away several years ago. I have a feeling that this may be due to the student's enrollment being exited as 155, but the student did not return the following year. Which enrollment exit codes would tell CalPADS that this student is no longer responsible for the student's special education program? Well, one thing, if you look at the 16.7 report mapping guide that's up on the screen, one of the last sentences in that description effectively says, this report will use the most recent active SPED record that meets the qualifying SPED criteria, even if the SPED record is from another LEA/SELPA and does not correspond with the LEA of the current enrollment record. So, students with disabilities, and Joe, please jump in and correct me when I start saying something wrong. Students with disabilities, while they still have an active plan, need to be reported. and they will appear on the 16.7 and 16.8 until such time that they are no longer SPED students or have been graduated in some way or completed in some way. But apart from that, they will continue to appear on those 16.7, 16.8 monitoring reports at the last LEA that they had the enrollment with the SPED record. Did I state that correctly, Jeff?
Kind of add into what you said, Paul. Most likely the scenario where Lisa's 16.7, 16.8 report becomes reported to her is because that she mentioned it's probably the last center record that is actually listed there, and there's no corresponding, if the student actually went to another district, there's no other record in that regard. So if the student was no longer enrolled at your LEA, I think that should go through either a dropout or SARB, I believe, or if the student is known to be continuing to another district or district transfer for that matter, then it should be a T160, right? But that it shouldn't stay long on the center record, because obviously if the student is not listed there or is not attending school at your district, then that should be replaced by an exit. And that should kind of clear up that 16.7. And even though there is an active SPED plan, as Paul pointed out, that shouldn't appear to your 16.7, 16.8 report if there is another exit that that is prescribed, and it should be updated, obviously, because at this point, it's the rollover, right? So you're gonna get a lot of. And if you look at it again, then you're gonna see that student kind of looking like it's gonna return back again, right? So maybe you need to consult with your CALPADS and your enrollment, how to kind of go about it and change the E155 accordingly to what would appear to be the most accurate reflection of the exit for that particular student.
.38. Marianne, this is directed at you. Has Brandy's replacement been hired yet?
For lack of trying. We're trying very, very hard to get all the paperwork done at the state, and it's taking a little bit of time, but very soon, very, very soon.
All right. All of my mids, which CALPADS is not catching, are because students have compound names. For example, the student has a name Garcia-Lopez with us, but in CALPADS with another district, just as Garcia-Lopez, or just as Garcia, the SSID tool returns nothing. It will return the students with an entirely different last names, with different birthdays, even different genders, but nothing where the student has part of the same name, even with the same birthday. This situation represents quite a few of the students. And students with EL records we really don't want to miss. Are there any plans to make the SSID search tool more robust? Short answer, yes. Long answer is how to do that is up for discussion. They are introducing something called Elasticsearch, which should make it more accurate, but there are still concerns about that. The comprehensive nature of that. Will it actually address all of the concerns? We don't know yet. They're looking at it closely to see how it will work with us, but the Elasticsearch should help out a lot. So yes, they are working on it, and they are looking into several different aspects of it. Right. We are now at 3:43 and at the bottom of the list right now. We hit 3:45 and we don't have any new questions. I'm going to call it a day and give you 15 minutes.
Rebecca has the Q1 she
Oh.
had.
On Mary Masters, Terrence Staley Zoom, Rebecca, incident with only a physical restraint but no behavior or offense. I'm going to guess that especially with students with disabilities with emotional disorders, if they're just being physically restrained to keep them from hurting themselves or others. And it's not.
That is correct, Paul. Sorry.
Offense, yeah, you'd still report that, but it would just be to identify that there had been physical restraint and then to describe it. And John Walker also jumped in and said, yes, all restraints should be reported. I think we're at the bottom because we're still getting thank yous. So thank you all for being here today. Enjoyed that 15 minutes that you now have. We'll see you back here next week. If you have a problem between now and the next Q&A, please open a CalPADS Service Desk ticket so we can get that answered for you. And have a great week.